with the survey, we had some questions that came in that didn't necessarily fit nice and neatly into those other categories that were just mentioned. And so we've grouped them into this section called other or miscellaneous. And I'm going to address or try to address some of those questions here. So the very first question says, can we be sent updated notes with all topics and instructions? The short answer to that is after this webinar, I will send out a link with information as to how you can get a copy of what was shared today. We are going to post this onto our website. And with that, I wanted to provide some access information to those. So there's all kinds of information that we post on the KReady support site. So that's the URL for that. The Department of Education, likewise, under the section of early learning, has two links there for administrators, both for ELA and KRA data managers. And so highly encourage you to go to those websites to get the information that we've talked about today. Much of what we've talked about is listed and shared on those websites. In addition to that, the department puts out newsletters that you can sign up for specific to early learning and the kindergarten readiness assessment. So I highly encourage you to sign up for those newsletters if you're not a part of them already, the Ed Connect and the information that comes out via Gov Delivery. Okay, and the other one that I highly encourage you to sign up for is the Misc newsletters that come out. So if you're a data manager, you need to have access to all of that information. Okay. Next here it says, how do we transfer or add the data once tests are taken? So I put a slide together to hopefully try to address that to get you a quick overview. So first, it's important to note that the student scores are automatically added in the KReady system once the teacher administers the administration or observation, and then they enter scores. So as a student, if they're using the app and they enter information, that information scored, teachers enter information, that data goes into the KReady system directly. The only time that doesn't happen is if the teacher is using the bridge form to collect that information. They would then have to put that information in the bridge form, which is a spreadsheet, and they submit that to the data manager, and that information is uploaded. So here we have kind of the process. So for again, there is an ELA decision tree. There's a link, not just in this presentation, but on the early learning website on the Department of Education and on our website as well, that takes you to a decision tree that walks you through the process of deciding which reporting direction you should go in. So when you're talking ELA, you either report scores to EMIS or to EAS. And so that decision tree walks you through that process. But down below is kind of the typical flow, if you will. So there's the observation or the collection of those student scores. Data managers would then download those reports either from the KReady system, and I believe that Christine walked you through how to download some of those scores, or again, vis-a-vis the bridge form if you're talking ELA. That information then is entered into your student information system or your SIS. There is not a direct transfer from KReady into SIS. That's something that data managers have to manually do, and then that information is submitted to the reporting center, whether that's EMIS or EAS. So that's how those scores are essentially transferred, if you will, downloaded and transferred into the reporting systems. Next question, how do I gain access to all administration functions as a data manager? So for this, I want to just show a quick screenshot there, and then we can go live again. But as I mentioned earlier, at the very top of the screen, there's a menu in the blue section there called Administration. Once you click on that, it takes you to all the administrative functions as a data manager. Clearly, you have to have data manager access. Once you have access, username and password, you click on Administration, and that gets you access to the administrative functions of the system. Next question, what are the chances of having open lab times where data managers can come to a location with district-specific scenarios or questions for a one-to-one assistance? So interestingly, this is something that we've actually discussed. We've talked about putting together some virtual office hours where data managers can essentially kind of log on and we can do a computer to computer kind of walkthrough and answer some questions. In fact, the webinar that we're doing today is in response to some suggestions that we received from another webinar where people ask really to have more time to present, pose questions, and have their very specific questions answered directly, as opposed to a kind of a general overview that we were doing. And so we put this webinar together, this format together to kind of address that. So again, going back to this question, this is something that our leadership team has discussed and that we're actually working on trying to put in place to meet your needs. So stay tuned for that. We'll get you more information as to how we will roll that out. Then our next question here is there an introductory module to watch so that you can have a better, you can participate better in this meeting? I actually responded directly to the person that submitted this question, but I wanted to kind of go live here to share with you how you could do that, where you could get this information. So I'm going to click on the link here, which will take me to our KReady support. And again, if I go back to the home page, the landing page of K-12 Help, I believe Christina also showed you, you can click either Kindergarten Readiness Assessment or Early Learning Assessment, and it will bring you to the same support page. Once you're on this page, we have a section here about data managers and resources. Right now it's in the banner, but you can access it from a multitude of places here. So if we click on this here in the banner, it takes us to a listing of all the webinars that have been presented by us and by JHU as well. So scrolling here, you can see these are the video clips and information that we've posted from the initial webinar that we posted about the bulk loader. So the suggestion, or the answer rather, to that question is first and foremost going to the site. Here you can access information in our FAQs. You can also do a fast search. So if I'm looking for something about passwords, you can click on our fast search and enter keywords and get information there. So I highly recommend, if you have not gone to the site, to come to the site and take a look. So I'm just going to click on reports here, and here you see a listing of all those reports that are available for data managers, both for KRA and ELA, for teachers. So it gives you all of that information. So if you've not done so, we want to encourage you to come to the site, click around and look for information. If you can't find the information, the answer to the question that you're looking for, you're having a problem, we also encourage you can do so from any of these spaces here at the very bottom of the page. You can click here for additional assistance, and you can submit a help desk ticket by doing so. You can contact the help desk that way.